Hello and welcome to the Garden Gurus. How beautiful are these? These are golden shower trees, and there's a very important message in this, and it's what this program's all about. It's the right plant in the right spot. We're in the beautiful Wheatbelt town in Western Australia of Mora. Now the conditions here are dry and harsh, and this tree, which comes from India, loves these conditions. And look at the flowers in the peak of summer. It's all about the right plant, and that's what today's show is all about. Here's what's coming up. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. We pay a visit to Royal Perth Hospital's research unit to learn about the health benefits of apples. Summer is over and it's time to help your garden recover from the heat. So Sue shares some tips to treat your hydrophobic soils. And I introduce Mineral Magic, an exciting new innovation that will change how we care for our gardens forever.
Dig, 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 digging around. Dig, 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 digging the ground. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
I've spent the past 30 years of my life working in the garden industry, and I've seen my fair share of problems as we adapt to a sometimes very harsh environment. And we're also dealing with ancient weathered soils. So there's some brilliant solutions to the challenges we face. And I think the biggest has probably been the introduction of biologically activated fertilizers that release nutrients slowly and boost the soil's microbial activity. The innovation tidal wave is exciting, and there's a new discovery, a completely natural one, that's about to change everything for those of us suffering with depleted soils. My first step in showing how this works is a trip to a hydroponic farm 2 hours north of Perth, where trials are delivering amazing results. Adam Pratt is the technical advising scientist for Mineral Magic, a company servicing the horticultural, garden and water garden sectors with a unique biogenic amorphous silica product that boosts plants' health, growth and microbial health and activity in soils and hydroponic environments. Look at these crops. Everything is so happy. Adam, this is an amazing product. What is it?
Well, it's essentially a silica source that was actually marine organisms that back in 125 million years ago sunk to the ocean floor and solidified in a silica-rich environment. That's at the surface now, and we're now mining it.
So I can see around the outside of us, you've got obviously fruit, chilies and tomatoes, but vegetables, the herbs, they seem to be growing really well. What else? What are the other plants?
Yeah, we have done an extensive trial here of a variety of materials, and fruit and vegetables, both leafy and fruiting ones. We've also tried saltbush and native bush foods. Right. To date, we haven't had any failures. Everything seems to go really well. Just
talking about its application, obviously hydroponics and aquaponics are two very logical ones, seeing what I'm seeing here. What about home garden environment?
Yeah, well and truly, we've got the three materials here. So we've actually got a slightly coarser material. That is great for garden beds. Incorporate that into the soil and it will significantly improve the water holding capacity and the plant available moisture for your plants. It never breaks down, so it remains in the soil forever.
And what about lawns?
Well and truly, yeah, we've got this finer product. This is great for top dressing lawns. Right. It's a finer particle size, essentially just top dressing the lawn. And it works its way through, and again, great for those initial feeder roots, maintaining the moisture in that root zone. Right,
and then this obviously...
Now this is a great sort of water-saving device. It's like a bark or a mulch of some description, put on the surface, and it just prevents that evaporative loss from the surface and protects the moisture below.
It's important to highlight that this is a hydroponic trial, but in hydro the results demonstrated are quite remarkable, and these have been reflected in the garden soil environments too. The reason gets down to some simple things like the rock mineral applied into soils is negatively charged, and that means it attracts both nutrient and moisture, absorbing it before releasing it slowly to the soil and the plant's roots. This really is an incredible product. The most important thing to remember is that this is a rich source of silica. That biogenic amorphic silica makes all the difference when it comes to plant strength and health. In fact, this is what gives us cellular health, both for the plant and if we're ingesting the food, of course, we end up benefiting from it. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to introduce you to different ways to use Mineral Magic in your garden to get amazing results with your plants. Most importantly, make sure that you're nice and strong and healthy too.
Pests like caterpillars, aphids and thrips love to feast in the veggie patch, just like we do too, folks, and who can blame them? And of course, We need to keep it all organic, and a fantastic organic pest control spray that you can mix up at home is to boil up some rhubarb leaves into a tea, add some chili and garlic, and then add about another 50%, 100% of water in the sprayer like that. And you'll make light work of caterpillars like that one. Don't mess with rock.
These beauties from the Swan Valley Nursery Advanced Gourmet Kitchen range are essential herbs that every kitchen needs on hand. Mint is loaded with health benefits. It helps to relieve the pain and discomfort of gas and bloating. Mint tea is very soothing, and I plunder my mint bushes at home and throw them into all my salads for the flavour. And just imagine Vietnamese or Thai food without mint. Very pale indeed. I suggest growing it in a pot to keep it under control and pick it mercilessly. It thrives in full sun or light shade and loves plenty of moisture. Red basil is a potent antioxidant with good anti-inflammatory, antibacterial properties, as well as being a great source of iron. I grow it for flavour. Once again, I add it to my salads of every kind, as well as soups. Italian flat-leaf parsley. This has a milder flavour than its sister, the curly-leaf variety, which can be a bit bitter. Now, when it comes to vitamins, it's pretty much got the entire alphabet, the works. And as a diuretic, it helps to prevent water retention and bloating. This is a herb for almost every savoury dish, from eggs, meat and salads, which you may have gathered I'm a bit crazy about. You can plant your parsley in the garden, in free-draining soil, in a nice sunny spot. I would be feeding every week with a combination of sea salt and power feed. That's for year-round growth and harvesting. So give it a good old dose like that. Now, of course, it's also a real winner in a pot. These plants are brought ready for harvest, so you can start picking from day one. I hope this has given you some planting ideas for this week.
One of my favourite ways to grow bulbs in the garden is in pots. And what if I told you there is a fun, creative and compact way you can grow them inside? This is a vase bulb kit, which is a great way to be able to grow spring flowers if you lack the space. Or you can only have plants growing indoors. Hyacinths, daffodils, tater-tates are perfect candidates for this project, as they'll grow happily for weeks on end. So how does it work? Well, by placing the pebbles at the base of the vase, this will allow the plants to grow through those stones and access the water when they need it, and it helps to prevent the bulb from rotting. To set it up, place the pebbles at the base of the vase. Then just add some water and then place the bulbs on top. Then you'll need to find a nice, dark, well-ventilated area for it to stay in for a few weeks. And once you notice the roots starting to grow, that's when you can bring it out and put it into a brighter area. And in no time, you'll have some beautiful flowers to enjoy.
If there ever was a tree that's got 4 things going for it, well, this is it, the crepe myrtle. It looks absolutely brilliant throughout the summer. Masses of flowers, stays compact, so it's perfect for small spaces. Stunning foliage colour in autumn and beautiful smooth bark. And team it in a garden bed with some box hedges and royina and you've completed the look.
Autumn is such an amazing time in the garden. You know, there are so many different fruit coming through, including the pommy fruit, and there's a whole range of them. Things like these guys here, quince. There's also pears, which are a rich source of pectin, which is incredibly good for you. And then there's my favourite, the apple. You know what they say? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But is that true? And are some apples better than others? This has been the subject of some fascinating work by researchers from the Royal Perth Hospital's Research Foundation. Dr. Catherine Bondono is part of the team leading the research in this study of how apples are proving to be packed with health benefits. So what are the outcomes that we're seeing from the research that's been done so far?
So we're very interested in heart disease. It's the #1 killer in Australia. And one of the things that we know that improves heart disease is diet. Okay. And a diet rich in fruit and vegetables lowers risk of heart disease. And one of those components in the fruit and vegetable diet is flavonoids. And apples are one of the major contributors to flavonoid intake. So that's where our interest started. And we have given volunteers here at the Royal Perth Hospital Research Foundation apples to eat and seen improvements in their blood pressure and blood vessel function within a few hours of intake.
So where is all the goodness sitting in the fruit?
The goodness sits in the skin of the apple, so that's where the flavonoids are. They're produced as a response to stress. So sunlight, apples will produce more flavonoids. So when we gave our volunteers apples, we actually gave it to them with the skin, and as a control, we gave apple without the skin. Yeah. And we saw most of the effects when we gave the apple with the skin.
So tell me, are some apple varieties better than others as a result of your research?
Yes, so we've worked with the West Australian breeding program here, and we tested 91 of their apple cultivars and looked at the flavonoid content. And the standout apples of those 91 were our Bravo apples and the Pink Lady apple.
And growing apples, is it hard? No, not at all. In fact, I'm a huge fan of these trees in home gardens. And apart from the tropics where it's too warm to get reliable fruit set, the average Aussie garden is the perfect place to have an apple tree. And the tricks to success, well, probably the #1 thing you do need to keep in mind is that apple trees like a cross-pollinator. So you can either buy a double-grafted tree, which means you get 2 different varieties from the one tree, or, well, look, in most metro cities, you will find there are so many apple trees in the suburbs that your neighbour's tree will be a cross-pollinator for your favourite variety. It shouldn't be too difficult. A couple of things to keep in mind: full sun, nice, rich, organic soil, and a good water supply. You can't go wrong.
I often think of plants as the selfish sisters of the gardening world. They get all the attention, love and care. When a plant's looking particularly amazing, we never hear, wow, the soil must be fantastic. I need some of that soil. Instead, we hear, that plant is amazing. I need one of those. The reality is that plants look amazing because of what they're growing in. Early autumn is one of the hardest times of the year for soils. We can see it in our plants. They almost look hard and need a decent feed and a good drink. It's also the time of the year when our allies in the gardening world go deeper. The earthworms and microbes disappear for cooler soil. And what we find is soils become very water repellent. Whatever water we put on just runs off. There's a quick test to carry out after watering to check to see if the soil is actually water repellent with the most technical piece of equipment you own, your finger. Now, I do this all the time and not only saves water, but in the end, your plants. And if we bring this broad thinking about the importance of soil back to our own garden, it means that we can really have a fantastic garden. This time of the year, you know, we see a few dead patches, a few dead leaves, and all in all, it looks a little bit dry. But if the soil's right, the plants can recover from the stresses of drought and heat a lot quicker. Seasoil Super Soil Wetter and Conditioner is a 3-in-1 product. Not only is it going to allow the water to soak in, it contains liquid compost, so improves the soil at the same time. Water repellent soil can happen in pots, hanging baskets, garden beds, lawns, in fact, anywhere we grow plants. And with a higher chance of rain in the next few months, apply it around the whole garden. There's nothing to lose and the garden has everything to gain.
In autumn, cooler weather starts to occur and we can see some things happening in the garden. So you might get some scale, you might get some fungal issues happening. So checking on your plants regularly is always a good idea.
G'day folks, I'm having an amazing day today out in the garden. I've just spent an hour or so mowing the lawn, one of my favourite jobs. And now I'm going to give it some extra love and attention to keep it looking its absolute best. Autumn is the perfect season for lawn care, and feeding now will work wonders over the next few weeks for your lawn's health. Warm soil and good growing conditions are ideal for lawn feeding as the nutrients are readily absorbed throughout, preparing your lawn for winter when lawns are dormant. A more robust, healthy lawn will handle the cold, harsh conditions of winter better. Fertilawn is the result of 20 years' research and contains some amazingly beneficial soil microbes, which are really important to improve your soil's health and maintain it, which is exactly what you need for a lush, healthy lawn. Minerals like potassium, magnesium and calcium are vital to good soils and plant growth, and there are up to 60 natural minerals in Fertilawn that are broken down by the microbes to make them more accessible to your lawn and plants. And some of these microbes eat away the thatch, which, if left to build up, makes mowing difficult and uneven due to the sponginess, and it blocks air, water and nutrients from entering the soil. So bring on the microbes, I say. For a lawn of this size or larger, you can't beat one of these spreaders. It just ensures a nice even coverage. And you've got a slider here that controls how much fertiliser you put out. Now, Fertilawn contains slow-release fertiliser that'll last up to 3 or 4 months, and being a mini prill means it doesn't get picked up by the mower and you don't get any waste. There's also the liquid lawn plant food. Click it on the hose, spray away, and that'll last for 3 months too. And I tell you what, you get these two going and your lawn will be singing, it'll be green, it'll be sensational.
I've seen so many changes in gardening in my career. Over 35 years, I've seen things like, well, we went from very harsh toxic chemicals to soft chemicals to now a strong push towards just organics. It's a great move in the right direction. Then there was fertilisers. We used to just use urea superphosphate, but we worked out that that wasn't good for the soil or the environment, so we came up with slow release and controlled release fertilisers. And more recently, we've worked out that if we inject microbes into the soil, that they'll break down those fertilisers and feed the soil, which then feeds the plants. But we've not solved the problem of soils discharging their nutrients. Basically, every time a crop goes through, nutrients go out, they're not replaced. Doesn't matter if you throw fertiliser at it, it just doesn't seem to be the same. This is something called mineral magic. It's a unique form of biogenic amorphous silica, and its impact on the soil's health is simply incredible. Its ability to draw up massive amounts of water and nutrient, then slowly release them back to the soil and the plant's roots, has seen it confirmed as a water-wise, smart-approved watermark product, and it is also an organic input product. It can reduce your garden's water requirements by 40 to 60%. And its ability to absorb nutrients before they leach into groundwater, causing pollution, is, well, brilliant, to say the least. There's a few types available currently. The first is the coarse rock and fine granules, which are used for ponds. The high absorbency of this unique mineral allows it to absorb excess ammonia in water, improving its health for fish. Plus, the porous nature of the rock allows a huge microbial population to build up, which take the toxic ammonia and phosphates out of the water. The incredible thing about this is that once you've applied it to the soil, it continuously holds moisture and nutrient in around the feeder roots, which means you end up with large, consistent crops all year round. And the great thing about this is it's a permanent mineral. So once you put this rock mineral into the soil, it continually charges and discharges the nutrients and moisture back to the roots. The last area I'm going to mention this week is lawns. Lawns are notorious high-level moisture and nutrient users. But if you can incorporate the finer granules of Mineral Magic into your existing lawn or add it to new lawn soils before laying, it will massively transform the water and nutrient consumption of the lawn. Well, they say that the proof is in the pudding, and this is a classic instance where I've already applied wetting agents in the past and not got regrowth. Putting Mineral Magic down, we're seeing massive recovery of the lawn. Mineral Magic is a very rare mineral. I've never seen anything like it. It's a game changer for gardeners, and it's something you should think about incorporating into your soils, whether it be lawns or gardens, about now. This is the perfect time to get it in. The challenge is going to be getting your hands on it, and if you want to find your local retailer, check out the Mineral Magic website. And of course, the other thing you can do is check out our website. We'll make sure we keep you posted as to where you can find it. Well, that's it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. The good news is we're back next week with some more down-to-earth gardening advice. We make gardening easy. That's what we do best. Now, if you want to know anything more from today's show, maybe you'd like to find out when Patsy Durak's beautiful rose garden is open, all you have to do is check out our website. It's a great resource of information. If you've got a very specific question that you'd like to ask, become a friend on Facebook. You can even join the Garden Gurus Live Gardening Club. It's free. We do it once a week. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll see you next week for another great episode of The Garden Gurus. See you then.